Hello. Hi, welcome. It's good to be back live. I've been doing some phone videos and I've only uploaded a couple of those. Um, I like the pressure of live. It's just something that kind of works really well. So, welcome to my live. It's Sunday night, May 22nd, 2022. And I started doing these 3 months ago. So I'm pretty proud of myself for just having got this started. I know I have a long way to go as far as production value goes and preparedness for the substance of the content, of course. But I'm very proud of myself. I've been doing a lot of work on myself and just acknowledging um, the future work I need to do. I included in my description today a link to a playlist I've been watching for days by a channel called Building Integrity by Josh Porter. I believe he has some other channels. I haven't checked those out yet. I've been stuck on the Champlain Towers South um, saga, which is a building in Miami Beach that collapsed. And it's kind of sad. There were deaths. The collapse of this building happened um, in June 2021. It happened in the middle of the night, and just terrible situation. And it comes to mind that just to mention that the work that Josh Porter does as a structural engineer, um, he doesn't design and build, but he goes and tells people how to fix their buildings. And there's a lot of these older high rises in Southwest Florida where he works that they're reaching 30, 40 years old. And that's kind of an important marker because that's when a lot of these buildings fail. So I find it pretty interesting. That's my age. Is I'm approaching 40, and it's quite humbling to think about how maybe we just take for granted the space that we're in. Um, and, you know, interesting to think that a whole building, or at least part of an entire building, can just drop overnight. And I kind of feel like that is a nice metaphor for my own life. It's just like I've been ignoring a lot of the clear indications that there's some lack of integrity going on in myself. So I want to make sure that I'm kind to myself while I'm on the whole journey of, self-improvement, that I'm also not just beating myself up um to the point at which it's not productive, right? So that's where I'm at. I just finished the book Puzzling People by Thomas Sheridan. This is Puzzling People: The Labyrinth of the Psychopath from 2011. And now I'm getting into Defeated Demons: Freedom from Consciousness Parasites in Psychopathic Society. This is his follow-up from 2012. I just started it. Um, Very important work, I think, being done by Thomas Sheridan. I happen to really like him. He's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. That's understandable. But honestly, I'm so glad that I was turned on to him. It's really been life-changing, um, to be able to listen to his kind of almost daily rants. It's something I always look forward to first thing in the morning, after I get up and get going. That's what I look for, uh, to see if Thomas made a post. So he's in Ireland. He probably posts them in the afternoon where he lives, and that's just a great morning treat for all of us stateside. So I've been going through all of my books and trying to come up with sort of a curriculum for my kids, that we can do in homeschool for next school year. And that's why I think it's so important that I deal with my own struggles right now, because my kids need me right now. They may need me when they're older. I certainly have had a lot of support and help from my family, especially my parents, especially my mom. And I wanted to read you this dedication in Defeated Demons. Dedicated to the survivors of psychopathic abuse, an acorn has to rise above the dirt to become a mighty oak. Always know this. So I really appreciate that sentiment, and I am so glad I'm on this journey here to understand myself better, to understand the world better. I think I was always just a bit naive in general and wanted to believe that people and the world are generally good, and you know, maybe that's possible again. um I'm not sure that's the situation right now, but I was called in to check this week. I have my window right here in my bedroom that looks out to my front yard, and first thing I do when I wake up, if I don't run to the bathroom, I open my window and at least open the blinds. And I like to sit in bed, peek out the window. And I noticed someone was standing right at the street looking at my park strip area. And I said out loud, "Fuck you." Because I thought he was going to be this grumpy guy, like criticizing my work in progress yard. And I put my sweater on and went outside and had my cup of water with me, and I just said, "Hey, I've got these peas growing here." And I just started talking to him about the plants. And he was like, "Oh yeah, I really like what you're doing. I'm getting some ideas for my yard from you." And it brought me so much joy, but I realized I immediately judged him, like I feared that he was judging me. And so, this is a situation in which I was very much humbled, because I was totally wrong. I was totally off base, but I didn't go out there yelling at him. I went out there, I decided to change my attitude about the situation, to check myself immediately and just go out there and see what's up, rather than sitting in my house brooding and worrying that this person is judging me, because I have had that. I've been out working in my yard and had a neighbor come up and just drive up and yell at me through his car window and say, "Oh, you need to clean up your yard. Well, meanwhile, I'm working on the yard. So I just kind of tried to be like, oh, so you're offering to help me. Awesome. But it bugged me. It hurt my feelings. It bothered me that one person was complaining to me, and so it tainted my whole attitude thereafter. And I just don't want to be like that. I want to believe that anyone around might be on my side, actually, rather than being against me. But I do know that there's folks out there really looking to take advantage of people. And so I really struggle with this. I mean, obviously, I've really bared a lot of my soul here on this channel already. And it's like, for what? What am I doing? Am I opening up the doors to just more judgment? Is this really dangerous? Am I putting too much of myself out there? And that's going to get me into trouble down the road. I don't know. But I really needed something in my life to shift. I had lost my jobs. I was feeling stuck. So this is my work, how to get unstuck. And one thing I did today, I combed my hair, and it had been weeks. I'd just been pulling it up in a disheveled mess. And I got super dirty in the yard the last few days, and I still wasn't willing to comb my hair out. So these are the things that still debilitate me on a daily basis. It's like, my room is a fucking mess. This is the one corner I'll allow you to look at, And I just want to make sure that I'm taking these things in stride and not feeling too bad for myself if I, don't get it perfect. Nothing like my next door neighbors who just have the perfectly kept lawns. Yesterday, what I did was I accepted 2 trailer loads of dirt and grass from somebody that had been pulling up their grass to plant a garden. And I knew they were going to have a hard time. They posted this on a garden group. Who wants all this dirt and grass? And I just said, I'll take it. If you can't find anybody else, I'll take it. And it was a lot. It was a lot more than I expected. But I thought, okay, this is great. I can compost it. I can use this. It's not going to go to some landfill. So I had a really good experience yesterday. My kids helped me unload this trailer, and we got super dirty. And I wore myself out. I almost did nothing today in the yard. I was super lazy today. But all this is just to say that I think it's all coming along. I'm really, really happy with my progress so far. And I look forward to reading more from Defeated Demons. I did read you the dedication. But this is another line that I wanted to make sure, another quick passage I wanted to make sure I read to you. When the psychopath swears that they cannot live without you, they are being somewhat genuine in terms of their needs and desires of the moment. You are their soulmate for now. Psychopaths do not value your personality or your humanity, and the only thing they find special or unique about you is the specifics of the payoff to be gained by manipulating you. You may be entertainment or a place to stay or their benefactor when you leave all your worldly goods to them and your will. All these are in addition to their ultimate thrill, picking the lock on your insecurities in order to exploit them. So interesting, because I had a old blog, so old, that was spawned after a pretty bad breakup about 15 years ago or more. And the title was Exploiting Myself So No One Else Can. And, you know, that was kind of tongue in cheek kind of thing. I don't think I was really quite aware of how many ways in which people can exploit us. Something I've been working on, talking to the kids about. I mean, we gotta warn kids that there's bad things out there, but we do our best to stay kind. We do our best to stay human. That's all we can do. We can't fear everyone in every situation, but we do need to have that awareness. So I think that's something important to reflect on. I don't want to go too long into this, although I probably could talk a lot longer. Um, I think that's a nice place to end. Um, and still haven't decided in which direction this channel is going, but so far, that's okay. It's really been a nice release and a nice place to hope to connect in the future with some more like minded people, inviting the people that do know me in person, that are acquainted to me, um, that they might actually get to know me better this way, because of course we've all been really isolated and disconnected, and it started before COVID. You know, um, I was really bad about keeping in touch with people, reaching out to people, um, initiating like an invitation. I just became such a homebody, and part of that was going through a lot of ups and downs uh, over the past few decades. It's just not as easy like it was in high school to just hang out with your friends. Um, at least not for me in the way that I chose to live. And I was talking to a friend earlier today about how I I did enjoy my work that I used to do in broadcasting, and he was telling me about another future opportunity that may be coming up, and I started to get really excited about it, but it's like, oh, I haven't even been offered the job yet, and I'm starting to get excited about it. That's kind of silly. But it made me think about how that's really what I miss. I miss the excitement of getting booked. That was the best part for me. And then you finally, like, the day comes and you have to go to work, and I love having a filled up calendar, but I loved getting booked. That was the thing for me. The job, it would be a hit or miss. Really tough work sometimes. The paychecks, sometimes decent, sometimes not. A lot of times waiting extra long time to get paid from some of these clients of mine. Just last year, I got a really great gig. It was awesome, but they had one lag of payroll. It took them like a month to get me this 1 week's worth of money. And so those are the things that I just drove me crazy. The waiting for the paycheck, checking the mail every day. Yeah, getting physical checks and having to wait for the mail. And then, oh, who wrote the check? Is it an out of state company? Did they issue the check from some bank that's not even in town? So then your bank holds the check for a long time or whatever. All that stupid stuff. So I am just looking forward to the future, whatever that's going to be. I've appreciated things staying more simple in my life these days, especially after how much I was driving last year. It's so nice to just have a really small radius in which I'm, commuting 5-10 miles at the most in a day, um, compared to the almost 90 miles I was driving one way to work last year. So thank you for being here with me on these talks, and I would like to keep them scheduled for Sundays, but they probably don't need to be live. Nobody's really tuning in live to these anyway. Um, so I may just get to it on editing with my phone and doing some pre-tape stuff. Uh, Same kind of deal, off the cuff, talking about concepts, talking about books. Um, so please continue to let me know how you are doing, what you are reading, what you're into these days. Um, in the past, I've been talking about the adventures of Pinocchio, and I found a great book review of that. I will try and add that to the description for this talk. If I don't link it in the description for this talk, then I will post it in my next video. Um, so thank you so much for watching, and we'll talk soon. Good night.